Hello and welcome back to my nail corner. On my left hand I have Builder Gel and Peel Base, and on my right hand I have Triple D, My Heart, and Femme Fatale. You guys, if you have not checked out the Bad Girls collection by Triple D, then you are missing out. Those glitters lay super flat and they have a 3D like stud-like appearance. They are so cool and like really hard to describe. So seeing them in person, like they're stunning. So definitely check those out. There are so many colors in that collection and they're gorgeous, all of them. I am getting into my basic dip powder application. I have my Virgo and Gem liquids out and Revel's Erica. Does anyone else here just love Erica? It is such a fan favorite and I am one of those fans. It's just like a super nice milky pink semi-sheer. It's kind of like if you're familiar with Revel, it's like Revel's Emily, which is their milky white. It's like her pink sister. I love her so much. So today's inspiration picture is right here. I saw this picture, I think on Instagram, maybe Pinterest. I think it was Instagram. Anyway, scrolling through, and it definitely looks like it was done with nail polish, but I'm a dip powder girl. So I was like, I'm gonna figure that out with dip powder. And that is what we're doing here today. I love this look so much. I thought it was super cute, like simple but fun, classy Valentine's look. So that's what we're gonna figure out today with dip powder. I went ahead and applied one dip to all of my fingers with Revel's Erica, and then you're gonna see me activate. I'm going to activate 2 nails initially and then a third because I kind of wanted to see how this turned out on 2 nails before I committed to 3 like the picture. And I am so glad I went with 3. I love this so much and I hope you guys do equally. You know, it's funny, we talk, a couple of us like girls on nail social media, if that's a thing, we'll talk about like our favorite manis we'll post and they get like the least amount of love, so to speak, or like videos where you're like, oh, I really, really love how this turned out. And then the ones that we really doubt ourselves on, like I'll have like super big doubts or just not real pleased with the outcome, and then I'll post it anyway. And those are the ones where we get the most love from you guys. And I kind of love that. It just like balances out my emotions about these things, because I'm sure you all know what it feels like to do a mani and not be pleased with the outcome and then get like tons of encouragement from other people. And not that our like, I don't know, self-worth or self-esteem should come from other people, but it's always like a nice boost when you're like doubting something to get encouragement from other people. So I appreciate you guys because you definitely do that for me on the regular. So here I am activating those 2 nails initially, and like I said, I'll go back for the third in a minute. And I'm sure it seems weird. You're like, you're not done. You only did 1 dip. But here's the look we're going for. So I have a Pueen stamping polish out. I tried this, full disclosure, I tried this another way, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But this is how I found that it worked best for me. So here we go. I am using that, like, it's like a hot pink polish. I'll get the name off of it and make sure it's in the description box below. I always try to link anything I use either in the description box with a specific link or it's in my Amazon storefront. This particular pink came from a like box of 12 Pueen stamping polishes that I got on Amazon, and they should be linked in my Amazon storefront. So they were a great price for 12 stamping polishes. So if you're looking to grow your stamping polish collection, be sure to check that out. So here we go with the first stamp. And I am going to do this over and over and over again. So after the first one, I do speed this up a little bit just for your sanity's sake. But if you're new to stamping, I guess like watch the first one closely because I'm going to speed it up after that. But really you apply like a blob of stamping polish onto your stamping plate, which is that metal thing that you're seeing right there. This stamping plate is from Maniology. I highly recommend their stamping products. And then you use a swiper card to just or I keep calling it a swiper card. It's a scraper card to scrape off the excess, and you don't have to press hard with that. You just kind of at a 45-degree angle scrape kind of the excess polish off the surface, and as you can see, like, it leaves that looking streaky, and you're like, that's not going to pick up well. Well, it does. It's magic. Somehow it just works. And then my jelly stamper is from Triple D, but I also have like a Pueen one in my Amazon storefront that I like, and the Maniology one I believe is the same as the Triple D one, so just depending on where you're shopping, I highly recommend you throw a clear jelly stamper into your cart, because they're so easy to work with, and I love the size of this one. So anyway, you use that clear jelly stamper, you kind of roll it over the surface of the stamping plate. You're not going to press directly down, it's kind of a rolling motion, and you don't have to press hard. It's just kind of like a light-handed motion, and that is going to pick up that stamping polish onto your stamper, and then you just press it down onto your nail. And I find stamping to be something that takes like a little bit of practice, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it's such a simple nail art technique, and I personally really love it. So you're going to see me do a bunch of stamps on these 3 fingers, and then I'm going to pop back in here and tell you what I'm doing next. So hang in there, and I'll be back in just a minute. So I went ahead and cleaned up and placed my stamping stuff to the side, but we're not quite done with it yet. It will be back later. I just used acetone on a lint-free wipe to clean off the stamping plate. That's what works best in my opinion, and the stamping plates tolerate that well. So now we are going in with our second dip of Revel's Erica, and after I do that second dip, I am also going to do a dip in clear, which is my typical MO. If you are familiar with my channel, then you already know that, and if you're new here, thanks for being here. Please consider subscribing or liking this video to let me know that you like this content and want to see more like it. So I mentioned a minute ago that I had done this a different way and it didn't turn out like I was hoping, and so I wanted to let you guys know how that was so that you know to avoid it, I guess. If you like the look you're seeing, then do it the way that I did it. I had looked at the picture and I thought like, oh, maybe I need to use a lighter pink and a darker pink, and like for my stamping polishes for like one layer versus the other, but in the end that didn't read very well. So it turned out using like the more vibrant pink and then using Erica or like any clear, not clear, semi-sheer color worked well, because it kind of muted that pink stamping polish from the first layer, and then my second layer that I put over the top is going to read more bright and vibrant just naturally. And maybe that's like a duh moment for you guys to be like, obviously that's how it was going to happen, but at first, like especially looking at it here, with my first dip of Erica, and I practiced this on a swatch just to see how it would turn out, and that's how I know that that didn't read very well. when I did a dip of Erica over it, like to my eye, it didn't seem to mute that hot pink very much. So I kind of thought, ooh, it's just gonna look like I have a whole bunch of hot pink stamps. But in the end, after I did my clear cap and then I activated and then I filed and buffed, it definitely, like, I could see the difference when I put the next layer of stamping on. So if you have like thoughts like I did, I just want to let you know I tried it out that way. This way ended up being the most successful in my opinion and easiest to kind of read what I was trying to execute. So I am going to finish up my clear cap. I'm going to activate. I'm going to file and buff off camera, and then I'm going to come back and finish this up with you guys and talk you through the rest of the process. So are you guys tired of watching me stamp hearts repeatedly yet? I get that this is really repetitive. I don't know whether it's like useful to keep all of the footage in there in case you guys want to see it, or if you're new to this and you're like don't want me skipping steps, but I figure I may as well include it, and if you're bored out of your minds, you can skip ahead and not have to see it all. But yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, a little bit monotonous, but also kind of therapeutic. Like I could do without having to clean off the stamping plate every time. Like if I could just, you know, apply polish and somebody was doing that in between for me, that would be nice. But in all honesty, once I got into a rhythm, and especially just doing the same kind of heart shapes over and over again, I kind of enjoyed this. So there might be, I don't know, a lot more. I keep saying there might be a lot more of this or that or the other in the future, but there's just always something new that like distracts me on to the next thing. But that being said, I'm really into the stamping thing lately. Once you get the rhythm of it, I know some people find stamping really just obnoxious and challenging, and they just can't get that, like the stamper to pick up correctly or whatever, and I get that frustration. So I apologize if stamping is not your thing and if it fights you every step of the way, but once you get it, it really is like a simple and fun nail art technique, and I really had fun with this. So I hope it wasn't too tedious for you guys to watch. So now I have finished all of my heart stamping, many, many, many hearts. And I'm going to get into my top coat, but not without base coat first. So if you're new here, then you haven't heard me preach on why I use gel base first before I use any gel top coat. That is because gel top coat does not really like to adhere to smooth surfaces. It'll tend to peel. So if you have used a gel top coat over your dip powder and it was peeling or flaking or chipping after a day or two, it's because it doesn't really like a smooth surface. So what you should do, in my humble opinion, is apply a layer of gel base to your nail first, then cure that for 30 seconds, and that is going to allow your gel top coat to adhere much better to your dip powder surface because it's adhering to gel base, which is what it's meant to stick to. So if you've been having that problem, then consider that. And you guys, I'm going to be using a matte top coat today over this design, so catch a glimpse of the glossy look for a second here because it's going to go away right quick and in a hurry. I didn't hate it glossy, but the inspiration picture was matte and I really liked how that turned out. So that is what I went with. This is the Triple D matte top coat. It is called Matte Me Up, which, how cute is that? And I really like this matte top coat. I've used a couple of different ones and this is probably my favorite one. So if you are in need of a matte top coat and you are okay with using gels, then check out the Triple D matte top coat. You won't be disappointed. And if you do not like to use gels or you have an allergy and you need to use a regular nail polish matte top coat, there are plenty out there. I have used the I think it's called Sally Hansen Big Matte or something like that. I'll try to make sure it's in my Amazon storefront. That one does a great job in my opinion, and it's just a regular nail polish, so great for somebody who may have like gel allergies or something like that. So there's the final look, you guys. What do you think? How did I do? Did I hit that? Did I nail it? I always think it's funny because I'm kind of cheesy like that when people say that about a manicure. They're like, you nailed it. Like, I know, pun intended. Anyway, I'm finishing up with my Candi Skincare Cuticle Oil as per usual to hydrate those cuticles and keep them healthy after all that filing and buffing and drying them out with product. I love Candi Skincare. If you need a discount code, it is in the description box below. And then after I applied that, I still wanted the matte look. So I just took a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a lint-free wipe and wiped over the surface of those nails, and that matte look comes right back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day weekend, whatever you're doing, and I will see you in the next vid. Bye now.